The skies above Houston erupted in a dazzling display of light that outshone the setting sun. Terminal control operators at Johnson Space Center watched in stunned silence as their instruments registered multiple objects decelerating from relativistic speeds directly over Earth's atmosphere. Within minutes, the impossible became reality as 7 massive vessels, each larger than an aircraft carrier, settled into high orbit. Admiral Sarah Chen was halfway through her morning coffee when the alert came through. 20 years of military service had taught her to stay calm in any situation, but this was beyond anything in her experience. By the time she reached mission control, the first transmissions were already coming in. The message was simple, broadcast on every conceivable frequency in perfect English. Please help us. Our ships are dying. The next 48 hours were a blur of emergency meetings, hasty preparations, and heated debates. The vessels belonged to the Asterians, a spacefaring civilization fleeing from what they called the Void Hunters. Their quantum drives were failing after centuries of use, and their automated repair systems could no longer maintain them. "Let me understand this correctly," Sarah said, facing the holographic projection of first speaker Lyra, her crystalline form shimmering with internal light. "You crossed half the galaxy to reach Earth, passing dozens of more advanced civilizations, because you think our primitive technology might save you." "Precisely." Lyra's translation matrix conveyed both desperation and hope. "Your species still understands the art of manual repair, of working with physical systems directly. Our civilization automated such tasks millennia ago. Now those automated systems are failing, and we have lost the knowledge to fix them ourselves." Sarah glanced at Dr. James Martinez, NASA's chief engineer, who hadn't stopped grinning since the aliens arrived. "Their ships are incredible," he said, scrolling through preliminary scans. "But the basic principles aren't that different from what we've been developing. They just took a different path, focused on automation and quantum mechanics while we stuck with mechanical engineering and human-operated systems." The irony wasn't lost on Sarah. Humanity had always imagined first contact would come from beings so advanced they would view Earth as primitive. Instead, their very primitiveness might be exactly what was needed. "How long do we have?" Sarah asked. Lyra's crystalline form dimmed slightly. "The Void Hunters never stop. We estimate 3 Earth months before they detect our trajectory and follow. Without functioning drives, we cannot run again." Sarah straightened her uniform. "Dr. Martinez, get every engineer, mechanic, and maker you can find. I want teams ready to board those ships within 24 hours. She turned back to Lyra. "First speaker, welcome to Earth. Let's see what we can build together." The next weeks were a flurry of activity as humanity rose to its greatest challenge. Engineers from every nation worked alongside Asterian technicians, learning to merge Earth's crude but reliable technology with the aliens' quantum systems. The solutions they developed were hybrid marvels, part mechanical, part quantum, all innovation. What the Asterians had forgotten over millennia of automation, humans innately understood. Sometimes the simplest solution was the best. Where Asterian systems used complex quantum algorithms to regulate engine temperature, human engineers installed mechanical heat sinks. When quantum communication arrays failed, they were supplemented with traditional radio backups. The work wasn't without its critics. Some feared helping the aliens would only bring Earth into a war it couldn't win. Others argued that humanity was giving away its technological secrets. But as the days passed and the collaboration deepened, something unexpected began to happen. The Asterians, watching humans tackle problems with tools and intuition rather than automation, started to remember. Ancient skills, lost to generations of technological dependence, began to resurface. Young Asterians worked alongside human mechanics, learning to trust their own hands again. Sarah found Lyra in the observation deck of her flagship, watching Earth's clouds swirl below. "The repairs are ahead of schedule," she reported. "Dr. Martins thinks we can have all 7 ships combat-ready within the month." We came seeking help for our ships. Lyra's voice carried a note of wonder. Instead, you have helped us rediscover ourselves. She turned to Sarah, her crystalline form pulsing with emotion. But I fear we have brought death to your world in return. Maybe, Sarah agreed, joining her at the window. Or maybe this is exactly where humanity needed to be. We've dreamed of the stars for centuries, developed our technology, trained our people. All we needed was a reason to take the next step. As if to punctuate her words, a new light appeared in orbit, the first of Earth's own warships, hastily retrofitted with hybrid human-Asterian technology. More would follow, built in shipyards that hadn't existed 2 months ago, crewed by humans eager to prove themselves among the stars. The Void Hunters were coming, but they would find more than just wounded prey when they arrived. They would find humanity, standing ready beside their new allies, armed with the perfect balance of innovation and tradition, technology and intuition, automation and human ingenuity. And that combination might just change the galaxy forever. The orbital shipyards above Earth hummed with unprecedented activity. What had begun as emergency repairs to the Asterian vessels had evolved into something far more ambitious. Dr. James Martinez stood in the observation deck of Shipyard 1, watching teams of humans and Asterians swarm over the massive hulls like industrious ants. We're calling it biomechanical integration, he explained to Admiral Chen, pulling up a holographic display. The Asterians' quantum systems are brilliant, but they're too dependent on automation. By introducing mechanical redundancies and human control interfaces, we're creating something entirely new. The flagship of the Asterian fleet, the Stellar Seeker, had become their testbed. Its once pristine hull now bristled with what some Asterians considered technological steps backward: analog backup systems, manual override controls, and what James proudly called good old-fashioned steel. The Asterians thought we were crazy when we suggested physical backup systems. James continued, his eyes gleaming with enthusiasm. But after the first successful test, they started to understand. Sometimes the best solution isn't the most advanced one. Sarah watched as a team of welders, their suits glinting in Earth's sunlight, attached massive heat dissipation fins to the quantum drive housing. The design was deceptively simple. If the quantum cooling systems failed, these passive radiators would keep the drive from overheating long enough for manual repairs. "How are the Asterians adapting to the changes?" she asked, noting the mixed teams working in perfect coordination. "Better than we could have hoped. They're fascinated by our approach to problem solving. Yesterday, I watched an Asterian engineer spend hours learning to use a wrench. She said it felt like rediscovering a lost art. The collaboration had produced unexpected breakthroughs. Asterian quantum technology, freed from the constraints of pure automation, proved remarkably adaptable to human innovation. Earth's primitive mechanical systems, enhanced by quantum principles, achieved efficiency levels that surprised both species. But it wasn't just the technology that was evolving. The Asterians themselves were changing, rediscovering aspects of their civilization long forgotten. Young Asterians especially embraced the human approach, forming close bonds with their Earth counterparts. First speaker Lyra materialized beside them, her crystalline form now adorned with a very human tool belt. "The modifications to the quantum navigation array are complete," she announced. "Your engineer's suggestion to include manual stellar cartography equipment proved prescient. We can now navigate even if our quantum sensors fail." "How long until the fleet is ready?" Sarah asked, checking the latest intelligence reports. The Void Hunter's arrival grew closer with each passing day. "The Stellar Seeker will be fully operational within the week," James replied. "The other ships will follow shortly after. But it's the new vessels I'm most excited about." He adjusted the holographic display to show the far end of the shipyard. There, taking shape with remarkable speed, were Earth's first true warships. They were smaller than the Asterian vessels, but incorporated everything they'd learned from the collaboration. "We're calling the first one the Prometheus," James said proudly. designed from the ground up to combine the best of both worlds. Quantum drives with mechanical backups, automated systems with manual overrides, and crews trained in both technologies. Sarah studied the ship's specifications with approval. The design was uniquely human, practical, adaptable, and built to take punishment. Where Asterian ships relied on quantum shields alone, the Prometheus class incorporated traditional armor plating enhanced by quantum reinforcement. Its weapons systems could switch seamlessly between automated and manual targeting. The Void Hunters won't expect this, Lyra observed. Their tactics are based on facing purely quantum-based technology. These hybrid ships will be something entirely new. A sudden alert interrupted their discussion. Long-range sensors, another hybrid creation combining Asterian quantum detection with human radio astronomy, had picked up something at the edge of the solar system. Multiple quantum wakes detected, the duty officer reported. Signature matches Asterian records of Void Hunter vessels. Time to intercept, approximately 72 hours. Sarah straightened, years of military training kicking in. Status of the fleet. Stellar Seeker is combat-ready, James replied. 3 more Asterian ships will be operational within 24 hours. Prometheus can launch in 48. It will have to be enough. Sarah turned to Lyra. Time to see if our innovations work as well in combat as they do in the shipyard. The first speaker's crystalline form pulsed with determination. They will work, Admiral. Your people have taught us that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in advancing forward, but in remembering what was left behind. As alarm klaxons began to sound across the shipyard, Sarah watched the endless stream of workers, human and Asterian alike, redouble their efforts. The upcoming battle would be more than a test of technology. It would be a testament to what 2 civilizations could achieve when they combined their strengths. The Void Hunters were about to learn that humanity's primitive technology, merged with Asterian quantum science, had created something unprecedented in the galaxy. And if they couldn't see the beauty in that combination, they would certainly feel its power. The first shots of the battle for Earth were not fired with quantum beams or energy weapons, but with radio waves. As the Void Hunters' advance fleet dropped out of quantum space, they were met with a barrage of electromagnetic interference that temporarily blinded their sophisticated sensors. Old-school electronic warfare. Captain Maya Patel grinned from the bridge of the Prometheus. Sometimes the simplest solutions work best. The Void Hunter ships were massive dark geometries that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved with artificial precision, their formations mathematically perfect, and utterly predictable to human military tacticians. Admiral Chen watched from the Stellar Seeker's newly redesigned bridge as the enemy fleet encountered their first surprise. The Void Hunters' quantum scanners, seeking the familiar signatures of Asterian ships, instead found themselves tracking hundreds of small, fast-moving decoys, simple drones broadcasting false quantum signatures. They're splitting their formation, Sarah noted with satisfaction. Just like we predicted. They can't ignore potential threats, even small ones. Their programming won't allow it. The Void Hunters had expected to find wounded Asterian ships, relying entirely on failing quantum technology. Instead, they faced a hybrid fleet that could fight in ways their tactical computers had never encountered. Launch fighters, Sarah ordered, and space blossomed with another innovation. Where Asterian ships had always deployed automated quantum drones, the hybrid fleet launched human-piloted spacecraft. They were crewed by Void Hunter standards, but piloted by humans who could think creatively and adapt instantly to changing situations. The enemy fleet's perfect formation began to deteriorate as human pilots exploited gaps in their automated targeting systems. Void Hunter weapons, calibrated for capital ship combat, struggled to track the agile Earth fighters. Multiple quantum surge readings, Lyra reported from her station. They're preparing their main weapon systems. Just as we hoped, Sarah smiled. Captain Patel, execute maneuver Tesla. The Prometheus and its sister ships activated their hybrid defensive systems, As the Void Hunters unleashed devastating quantum energy beams, the human vessels seemed to vanish from quantum sensors entirely. Their hulls, coated with a combination of traditional stealth materials and quantum dampeners, scattered the enemy's sophisticated scans in all directions. Quantum signatures masked, Maya reported. Switching to traditional targeting systems, these bastards may be invisible to quantum sensors, but good old-fashioned radar works just fine. The battle quickly devolved into chaos, exactly as the human tacticians had planned. The Void Hunters' superior technology relied on precision and predictability. Against an enemy that combined quantum weapons with ballistic missiles, automated targeting with human intuition, they found their tactical computers overwhelmed with contradictory data. "They're trying to adapt," Lyra observed, watching the enemy ships adjust their formation. "But their responses are limited. They can only choose from pre-programmed tactical options." Sarah nodded. "That's the weakness of over-automation. They can't think outside their programming." She opened a channel to the fleet. "All ships, execute attack pattern guerrilla. Let's show them what unpredictability looks like." The hybrid fleet broke into seemingly random groups, attacking from multiple vectors with constantly changing tactics. One moment they were launching quantum torpedoes, the next switching to conventional warheads. Fighter squadrons would appear to retreat, only to loop back through the Void Hunters' blind spots. On the Prometheus, Maya watched her tactical display with pride as another enemy vessel fell into their trap. The Void Hunter ship, pursuing what it thought was a damaged fighter, suddenly found itself caught between two Earth vessels. Its quantum shields, calibrated for energy weapons, provided little protection against the kinetic impact of tungsten rods accelerated to relativistic speeds. "Direct hit," her tactical officer reported. "Enemy vessel is venting atmosphere. Their quantum core is destabilizing." But the battle was far from over. The Void Hunters were learning, their artificial intelligence adjusting to the new tactics, though slowly. And their technological superiority was still evident. One direct hit from their main weapons could cripple even the largest Earth ship. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Lyra announced suddenly. More Void Hunter vessels entering the system, much larger than the advance fleet. Sarah studied the tactical display grimly. The real battle was about to begin. But humanity had proven its worth in this first engagement. Their primitive technology and unpredictable tactics had achieved what the Asterians thought impossible. They had bloodied the nose of the galaxy's most feared predators. "All ships, regroup and prepare for Phase 2, she ordered. The Void Hunters came expecting to find easy prey. Let's show them what happens when humanity fights back. As the fleet regrouped, Sarah caught sight of Earth through the bridge viewport. The blue planet shone like a jewel against the darkness of space, a reminder of everything they were fighting for. The Void Hunters might have superior technology, but they were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their ships or their weapons. It was their relentless determination to survive, and their ability to innovate in the face of overwhelming odds. The main Void Hunter fleet arrived like a storm of darkness, their ships blotting out the stars. Dr. James Martinez watched from his emergency command center deep within Shipyard 1 as tactical displays showed the overwhelming force bearing down on Earth. But where others might have seen hopelessness, he saw opportunity. The quantum core destabilization we observed in the damaged Void Hunter ship, he explained to the assembled human and Asterian engineers. It wasn't just random damage. Their quantum matrices responded to our kinetic weapons in a way we can exploit. The battle raged above as he spoke. The hybrid fleet was holding its own, but the sheer number of enemy vessels was beginning to tell. Even humanity's unconventional tactics couldn't overcome such overwhelming odds forever. Their quantum technology isn't that different from the Asterians, James continued, pulling up analysis from the first engagement. But they've automated it to an even greater extreme. Their systems can't adapt to significant variables outside their programming. Lyra's crystalline form pulsed with sudden understanding, and physical damage creates exactly such variables. That's why our hybrid weapons were so effective. They introduced chaos into their ordered systems. Exactly. James grinned. Now, what if we could do that on a larger scale? The next hours were a blur of frenzied innovation. As the battle raged above, humans and Asterians worked together in a desperate race against time. Traditional engineering merged with quantum physics in ways neither species had imagined before. On the bridge of the Stellar Seeker, Admiral Chen received a priority message from the shipyard. "They'd done what?" she asked, certain she had misheard. "We're calling it a quantum destabilizer." James's excited voice came through. "It combines a conventional electromagnetic pulse with a targeted quantum wave. The physical EMP disrupts their automated systems just long enough for the quantum pulse to cascade through their network. In English, Doctor, it makes their own technology fight itself. But we need to get it close, really close, to their command ship." Sarah studied the tactical display. The Void Hunter's massive command vessel hung at the center of their formation, protected by layers of smaller ships. Getting anything close to it seemed impossible. "I have an idea," Captain Patel cut in from the Prometheus. "But you're not going to like it." The plan was insane, exactly the kind of unpredictable human thinking that had served them so well. While the main fleet engaged the Void Hunters head-on, the Prometheus would execute a series of precision quantum jumps, using the chaos of battle as cover. Their tactical computers will be overwhelmed trying to track all the quantum signatures, Maya explained. They won't be able to distinguish one more ship executing random jumps. It was a suicide mission. Even if they got close enough, triggering the quantum destabilizer at that range would likely destroy the Prometheus as well. But as Maya pointed out, better one ship than Earth. The execution was perfect in its controlled chaos. As the hybrid fleet pressed their attack, the Prometheus began its deadly dance. Each quantum jump brought them closer to the enemy command ship, their hybrid systems allowing them to navigate with a precision the fully automated Void Hunters couldn't match. Multiple enemy vessels adjusting course to intercept, Maya's tactical officer reported. "They've detected our approach." "Too late," Maya smiled. "We're already inside their response window. Their tactical computers can't compute a solution fast enough." The Prometheus materialized less than a kilometer from the Void Hunter command ship, well inside its defensive screen. For a moment, the massive enemy vessel seemed to hesitate, its automated systems struggling to respond to such an unprecedented situation. "Quantum destabilizer at full power," engineering reported. "Ready on your command." Maya took one last look at the tactical display, at the Earth shining in the distance. "It's been an honor," she said. "Trigger the device." The effect was beyond anything they had predicted. The quantum destabilizer's waves spread through the enemy fleet like a ripple in reality itself. Ship after ship went dark as their quantum cores turned against them, their perfect automation becoming their perfect destruction. But the Prometheus didn't explode. As the wave expanded outward, the ship's hybrid systems, combining quantum technology with human ingenuity, somehow held together. "Status report," Maya demanded, hardly daring to believe they were still alive. "Quantum systems at 15% and holding," her engineer replied, amazement in his voice. "The mechanical backups are keeping us stable. Those primitive systems you insisted on, they just saved our lives." The Void Hunter fleet was in chaos. Without their command ship's coordinating presence, their rigid tactical programming fell apart. Some vessels attempted to retreat, others continued to fight, but their perfect coordination was shattered. "All ships, press the attack," Admiral Chen ordered. "Don't give them time to recover." As the hybrid fleet moved in for the kill, Sarah couldn't help but smile at the irony. The Void Hunters had fallen victim to their own technological superiority, defeated by the very primitiveness they had doubtless despised. James's voice came through the command channel, tired but triumphant. "Admiral, we're already working on improving the quantum destabilizer. If we can replicate it on a larger scale." "One victory at a time, Doctor," Sarah interrupted. But she understood his excitement. This wasn't just a military victory. It was proof that humanity's path forward didn't lie in abandoning their roots for pure automation, but in finding the perfect balance between human intuition and advanced technology. The battle for Earth wasn't over, but its tide had turned. And in the heat of that cosmic forge, something new had been created. A true partnership between humans and Asterians, between the past and the future, between intuition and automation. A partnership that would reshape the galaxy. 1 year after the Battle of Earth, the orbital shipyards had transformed into something unprecedented in galactic history. Where once emergency repairs had been made, now stood the first Terran-Asterian Joint Academy of Innovation. Ships from across the galaxy docked at its ports, bringing representatives from countless civilizations eager to learn the new hybrid technologies that had defeated the Void Hunters. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at her familiar spot in the observation deck, watching a group of students, human, Asterian, and now many other species, working together on the hull of a training vessel. Each brought their own perspective, their own technological traditions, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. The latest results from the quantum integration trials are in, Dr. James Martinez announced, joining her at the window. The new hybrid cores are showing efficiency ratings 300% higher than pure quantum or pure mechanical systems. And more importantly, first speaker Lyra added, her crystalline form now bearing the insignia of the Joint Academy. They're systems that can be maintained and understood by their operators, not just blindly trusted to automation. The defeat of the Void Hunters had sent shockwaves through galactic society. Their remaining vessels, those that hadn't been destroyed or critically damaged by the quantum destabilizer, had retreated into the unknown reaches of space. But they left behind something more valuable than victory. They had shown the galaxy the weakness of overdependence on automation. We've received another dozen applications for the exchange program, Maya Patel reported, walking up to join them. The captain of the Prometheus had become something of a legend after her ship's survival of the quantum destabilizer blast, including 3 from civilizations that make the Asterians look primitive. Sarah smiled at that. The galaxy was changing, and Earth was at the heart of that change. Humanity's primitive approach to technology, their insistence on maintaining human control and understanding over their tools, had proven to be precisely what the galaxy needed. The Void Hunters made the same mistake many advanced civilizations did, Lyra observed. They assumed that progress only moved in one direction, toward more automation, more removal of organic involvement. They forgot that true advancement often means finding balance, not just pushing forward. In the aftermath of the battle, the hybrid technology developed by humans and Asterians had spread rapidly. Ships were being retrofitted with mechanical backups, quantum systems were being redesigned to allow for manual control, and most importantly, crews were being trained to understand their vessels, not just operate them. We're seeing similar changes in civilian technology, James added. The principles we developed for the hybrid ships are being adapted for everything from medical equipment to planetary defense systems. It's not just about having backups, it's about maintaining the connection between user and technology. Below them, Earth shone blue and peaceful. The planet had changed too. The influx of alien knowledge and technology, tempered by human pragmatism, had helped solve many of humanity's oldest problems. Clean energy, environmental restoration, medical breakthroughs, all achieved not through blind adoption of advanced technology, but through thoughtful integration of new and old. The Galactic Council has approved the expansion of the Academy, Sarah announced. We'll be opening sister facilities on 3 other worlds. They're calling it the Earth Model, the perfect balance of innovation and tradition. Maya chuckled. Not bad for a primitive species that hadn't even achieved faster than light travel 2 years ago. That's exactly why it had to be Earth, Lyra said softly. You hadn't lost touch with your foundations. You reminded us all that progress isn't just about moving forward. It's about bringing the best of the past with you. As they watched, a new ship emerged from the shipyard's construction bay. It was the first of a new class, designed from the ground up with the principles of human-alien cooperation in mind. Its hull bore the symbols of both Earth and the Asterian worlds, but its design was something entirely new. The real legacy of Earth isn't the technology, Sarah reflected. It's the reminder that no species has all the answers. That true strength comes from cooperation, from combining different perspectives and approaches. Out in the depths of space, the Void Hunters still lurked, perhaps planning their return. But they would find a very different galaxy when they did. Not one dominated by pure automation or pure organic control, but one that had found strength in balance, in diversity, in the combination of past and future. And at the heart of it all was Earth, no longer a primitive backwater, but a shining example of what was possible when tradition and innovation worked hand in hand. The planet that had taught the galaxy that sometimes, to move forward, you had to remember where you came from. As the sun set over the shipyards, casting long shadows across the hybrid vessels in construction, Sarah Chen smiled. Humanity had reached for the stars, but they had done more than just grasp them. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward, a path that honored both progress and tradition. The legacy of Earth would echo across the stars for generations to come, not as conquerors or saviors, but as teachers, innovators, and living proof that true advancement meant finding balance between the wisdom of the past and the promise of the future.